Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I'm your host, DBoss. And before you start the episode, please take out your device. I know you have your device in your hand, so you could go and share the channel, like the channel, DBoss Networks. Also, like the guests, follow them, subscribe, leave a comment. You know, those things all help. And I know people are at home, so it's no excuse for you not to be doing it. So anyways, well, today I got somebody real special for you. And he's a legend. And he's been doing a lot on the market. He's been around, and he's just been doing this, doing that, you know, in this, and entertaining us in the media during this time. So it's no other further ado. We're going to introduce to you legendary Cold, and we're going to find out why he's a legend.
What's up, D? What's going on?
All right, you.
How you doing? How you doing, boss lady?
I know you're looking good. I see little plaques up in the back there.
A couple of little trinkets that I picked up along the way.
Trinkets.
So. I didn't rob nobody. I didn't rob nobody for them. I worked.
All right.
I worked for them. So hey, they comfortable
you
on the
don't have
wall.
nobody rob you for the either. You better have some good security.
Well, hey, we're in a safe space. Yeah.
All right, so can you tell everybody?
I'm the toughest guy in my neighborhood, so don't worry.
Oh, okay. So no one's gonna mess with you then.
No.
All right. So can you tell everybody where you come from?
I come from Pomona, California, Los Angeles, California, that's a suburb of the city of Los Angeles.
Okay.
I've been in the game. If you want to know my history of where I come from musically. I come from the legendary Hutchinson family, which was at Motown. They wrote for the Jacksons, the Miracles, the Commodores, the Fifth Dimension. I come from that family, the Hutch family, the infamous Hutch family in the music world.
So what are you? Are you the uncle and niece or somebody, or does everybody?
I'm the nephew of I'm the nephew of Willie Hutch and Richard Hutch of Motown. So yeah. So that's where I come from musically, and then where I'm at right now, located right now. So yeah, Los Angeles, California.
Well, that's good. A lot of people out in LA, a lot of things happening.
Yeah. LA is cool. LA is cool. The sun is shining, so I'm cool with that. We're spoiled, so I like the weather here. So
it's hot all the time, or not really?
Yeah, it is hot all the time. It may rain a month out of the whole year, maybe, and that's spread it out. So yeah.
Well,
I'm not from California, so it never rains, as they say. But when it rains, people go crazy. So yeah. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Steer the beach. So the beach life there.
Yeah, you can go here. You can go. Here in Southern California, you can go in January. You can go to the snow. You can ski in the morning and then go to the beach in the afternoon. It's that close.
What?
Oh yeah, it's that close, and it's like 80.
What part of California is that? That's up somewhere northern, or?
Well, it's southern. It's southern. You figure Los Angeles.
Yeah, you're southern.
When you get further inland, you get to the mountain areas, and the mountain areas is maybe about 45 minutes to an hour and some change away from the beach. So you actually can go snowboarding in the morning, and then come down to the mainland to the coastline and go surfing.
So you go snowboarding
in one day? No, I just like to go in the snow to break it up a little bit, but I don't snowboard.
So what do you be doing? Tobogganing, skiing, or just hanging out?
I just hang out. Because here you can't. That's the only way we get a winter is to go to the winter. We don't have a really in the mainlands and by the coastline. You don't really have a winter. It's the same every. Christmas Day. You figure Christmas Day is probably 79, 80 degrees. So,
that's like Christmas up in the Caribbean there.
Yeah. So, we're spoiled. I feel bad for other people, but I've lived in places where it's basically cold at those time of year, and they want to come here. They're like, this is crazy. They'd be jealous. They'd be like, oh, how's the weather out there? I'm like, I don't even want to tell you because I just looked at the news and you guys are snowed in. I'm not. I can go to the snow, then leave the snow and come back.
Now don't dog us out here.
In one day.
You must.
You know what I'm saying, boss?
You must feel so good.
You gotta love it.
And there's a lot of the vineyards and the wine and the good wine you get down there and stuff.
Oh yeah. We're spoiled. I'm just telling you, when you come, you know, you've been to LA, you're spoiled. So, and that's spoiled all year round.
Spoiled and expensive.
There you go. You pay for it.
So, how did you come up with your name, Cold 187 UM?
I came up, you know, back in when I first started rapping, I used to battle a lot, you know. And that name, you know, the name means, you know, cold murderer, basically. But my brother DJ Chaos said when we was naming each other, like as far as our group above the law, you know, we wanted to have these street names, and he was like, well, since you a battle rapper, you're a street cat, why don't you name yourself, because you be killing people off in the battles, why don't you name yourself the Penal Code of Murder? I said, well, I don't want to be cold 187. I want to be cold, like a cold killer. You know, in the UM is just to make us say, like us as black folks, we say we don't say 7, we say 7. You know what I mean? Or 11. You know what I mean? So that was just to make you say that. The UM is to make you say not 187, but say 187. So you know, and a Mansa Musa means king warrior. So it's cold killer, king warrior. So it's one thing all together, and that's how I came with my name. That's
so Mansa Musa, did you look that up? Did you pull that from some other country?
Yeah, Mansa Musa. I actually took the ideology from the King Mansa Musa. You know, the great king, the Black King Mansa Musa, as being the ruler, the richest man in the world at, you know, up to this date. You know, so I liked it because it was a powerful thing. Like his name actually means King Moses in Islam. You know, it means that. And if you said, but the common two words mean king warrior. So I incorporated that into my little monarchy to be a cold killer king warrior. So it brought a power to my name. So that's how it all roped into each other.
Well, a lot of things roped in for you because there's so much things going on with you that we're gonna have to dissect you down.
But let's do it. Now I'll give you the edited version, and I'll come back. See.
Well, you will come. You're gonna come back anyways because you got to tell us what's going on with all the other stuff. So
that's right.
What inspires you to do what you do?
You know, my parents. I think me to be a writer, a producer, and a composer was my parents. You know, my father, and my uncle, the guys who came before me. That actually I caught their bug from when I was really, really young. So it inspires me because first I'm a musician, you know, and then I started getting into hip hop, you know, when I was very young.
So you play instruments?
Yes, I play 3 different instruments. I play piano.
What instruments do you play?
I play piano. I'm self-trained by my father, piano, and I play bass guitar and I play trumpet. So those are the instruments I studied growing up. As a producer, it armed me, you know what I mean? Because when I started making hip hop records, I knew how to produce because I knew how to I was taught how to orchestrate an orchestra when I was like 15 years old. So I know every instrument, what it does, what's its purpose, and what purpose that it doesn't have. You know,
so you learned that from yourself, or did you learn that from your family?
I learned that from my father and going to school and studying. So
you studied it in school music. Too. Okay.
Yeah, I started studying music when I was probably like 7 years old, 8 years old. So yeah, actually, yeah. So I studied classical, jazz, and choir marching. I was in 3 different when I was 14 years old, 15 years old. I was in 3 different bands. I was in a jazz ensemble, I was in an orchestra, and I was in a choir marching band. I played French horn in the orchestra, and then I played bass guitar and flugelhorn in a jazz ensemble, and I played trumpet in the marching band. So yeah, I've been in music all my whole life.
This is your full-time thing you do.
Yeah, it was definitely my full-time thing until I got caught up in the streets and got to running with a crazy bunch of brothers that I end up from that. It's a blessing because I end up meeting Eazy-E and Dr. Dre. And that's how we actually got on. And
you mean on the inside you met them?
Yeah, that's how when I was out hustling, I met them through mutual friends when we were on the streets, you know.
Wow.
And but what was dope about it was this. this was dope, DBoss. I already had the music stuff together when I met him. You know what I mean? I still had the music bug, even though I was in the streets wilding. I still had the music together, you know. So it kind of like locked in. I would have never met him if I wouldn't have been in the streets wilding, to be honest. So it's like a blessing, you know. It's like a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? But it delivered me. You know, being in the streets, it really brought me back to music. So, what motivates me
because you kind of left the music scene because you were doing in the streets and stuff, right?
Yes, but I wouldn't have never met those people if I wasn't in the streets moving around. You know what I mean? That's the thing that people have to understand about life. Sometimes you don't know what path you're on, but I think long as you stay focused on your dreams and what you're trying to do, because all through it, really, I stayed on the course of doing music. Even though I was in the streets wilding, I just started, didn't mean it. I was like 18, 19 years old. And I didn't think it really meant nothing, because, you know, when the money comes in, then you got responsibility, you got family, you got all that. So I kind of like, I didn't sit it to the side. I just kind of, it wasn't a priority at that point. But the funny thing about it is, as long as I kept doing it, it always kept showing up. You know, if I did it a little bit, a whole bunch of it would show up. You know, so the little bit of stuff that we were doing here, there, here, end up making it be, when I met Eazy-E, we had a project to give him, and it was a part of him building Ruthless Records and everything. And after they got off the Straight Outta Compton tour, they signed us. They signed me. So as an artist and a producer at the time, I'm going to say this, to go back to what you asked me about. What motivates
That's okay.
me.
Everybody's listening.
What motivates me is this. I always do this. I always say, with music, you have to just do the music. So what motivates me is having the opportunity to say, look, I'm just gonna get up and do the act. I'm not gonna, okay, if the sun is shining, I'm gonna make music. If it's raining, I'm gonna make music. As long as I'm up, running with the sun and rising with the moon, I'm gonna make music. That's what motivates me. Music itself, and having the vision to say, like, hey, I can do music. Let me do music. And I think sometimes we take that for granted as creative people. You know, we try to figure out, okay, what motivates me? Oh, this really, you got up. And if music is in you, you're going to write a song walking through the shopping mall. You're going to write a song walking through the kitchen. So that's what motivates me, just life itself. Just looking out the window and seeing, hey, man, you know, it's a nice day today. Let me make a song, you know?
So when you got caught up, you were writing a lot of songs?
Yes. But I wasn't, you know, that was more of a reflection.
Okay.
So you figure when you're stuck somewhere, you're not really focusing on thinking about anything else but getting out of that situation. So I was driven to get where I was trying to get to, and then reflect on it. So most of the stuff, when I was caught up, I kind of wrote the reflection of what my life was and how I got in this position. And it wasn't about what was going on right in front of me, because what was going on right in front of me was survival.
That's not the real picture.
Right, exactly. So the real thing is when you reflect on it and say, well, I made some bad decisions. I did it. So when I reflect on what I went through in life, that's what really made me a deeper writer as well. You know, and that's why I brought that up is what's around you that inspires you. It's what you go through that inspires you. It might not be, like, for instance, okay, you're a creative person, right? And you might be thinking, like, okay, you might be thinking some brilliant thing right now, but then you got to go cook, or you got to go shopping, you got to go, but that idea is still there. Now, when you go cook and go shopping, it might broaden that idea.
Okay.
That's why you don't never go away from it. You just incorporate it in your everyday life and move. So that's what I always did. When I was caught up, I incorporated music in my everyday life. I always had some notes to write down. But I never really literally wrote stuff out. Be like, oh, this happened to me today. Or I write a letter home to my mom's, or, you know, that kind of thing. Or, you know, my girl at the time, or whatever, you know, I would write some stuff down, but that's the only thing I would write down, is like letters home or stuff like that. I wouldn't write songs, you know. I would reflect on what happened today, like, oh, this happened on the yard. Oh, yeah, like notes or something. And then when I got home, I put it all together.
So did you guys, you said you met them, Dr. Dre and these guys in there. So did you guys kind of rap in there, or not really?
Oh, no. I met them before. Before
that happened.
Before that happened. So when I met Easy in NWA, they were on the. I mean, I met Easy and Dr. Dre. They were building Ruthless Records at the time.
Okay.
So when I met them, they were at the point to where they had started getting a lot of momentum, and they wanted to sign other acts. Well, we had a project that we had already kind of like basically finished that Eazy-E had loved, and he was like, well, I'm doing this label. I want to do this. I want to do that. And he heard the record. And he was like, well, yeah, come on over here. But at the time, I was so caught up in the streets, I was like, I don't know, until he actually showed me the success. At the time, they hadn't blew up like that. They hadn't blew up. Straight Outta Compton hadn't blew up like that yet.
Okay.
So once it blew up and we saw that, it was like, okay, because nobody on the streets was really doing gangster rap. Nobody was even trying to touch gangster rap back then. He was the only executive in LA that would touch it. So he loved what we were doing. And from there, we created history. From there, Above the Law was born, and we put records out with him and helped him build Ruthless Records and so on and so on. So, and then later on, when I was still wilding, I ended up getting caught up in the middle of my career. Like after he passed, I end up getting caught up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who have you worked with in the industry? Like who else?
Oh, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Tupac.
And how was it working with Snoop?
I was cool. I mean, he was one of the first few artists I ever worked with. When he hadn't even really came in the game just yet. And Dr. Dre came to me and he wanted to sign him. He was like, yeah, I've worked with him. And then from there, they end up taking off at Death Row from there. But yeah, that was incredible. I think, working with Dr. Dre was probably one of the most incredible times I had working with him. I worked with him at Ruthless, and I also worked with him at Aftermath. Tupac, that was incredible working with him. Me and Tupac were really good friends. So
wow.
That was my good friend. Yeah, rest in peace, Tupac, man. Yeah, that was my really good friend.
What happened when he died and stuff, and he got shot? How you must have went through something with that?
It crushed me, D. It crushed me. It's crushing because we were young. We were really young. It was a shock. Two, we was at the height of our careers when he got shot. We were at the height of our career, so it was devastating.
And how did that affect you?
Oh my God! I mean, it's one thing I think that people don't realize. And coming back from back then, there was a union with us. Like because hip hop was all we had. We were street kids that came up really hard, and hip hop was kind of all we had. You know what I mean? So when you lose somebody like that, it's kind of like losing. I won't say a voice. It's kind of like losing your voice. Because he spoke for all of us. Like we all spoke for each other. It's like saying like, okay, if you was around us and you were the voice of what you do, and we lost you, it'd be like, oh, we just lost our voice. We don't have that person. And he was passionate about what he believed in. So it was on that. That's how it affected me. We lost a major voice.
And that's your friend.
That was my friend, definitely. Yeah. And I know his passion.
It was not like somebody that just knows him and saying and all these acclaim. This people out there, this is his friend.
That was my friend. Tupac was my very dear friend. Tupac ate food at my mother's table. So with me. So yeah. He's a great person, man. And I'm glad that people
had
really
some good
honor
food
Tupac
while he was here,
Yeah, I wish he was here too. Him and Eazy-E. Those guys they were gems. They left too soon. They both left too soon. Powerful, powerful people.
Well, they said in your journey, And so who else you work with?
Let me see. Cocaine. Of course, Above the Law.
Oh yeah, a legendary Cocaine. Yeah, we know him.
Yes,
I interviewed him too.
Yeah. I developed Cocaine. That was my first artist.
I gotta bring him back, though. I gotta bring him back.
Me and him just finished a new album. We have an album coming out next year. You have to bring him back. Yep.
Yeah, I gotta bring him back. That was about a year ago or something. So
you gotta bring him back. He has an album coming out too. Kokenstein is coming out. His album Kokenstein coming out next year. So it's gonna be amazing.
Well, somehow we gotta keep LinkedIn so I can get him.
Yeah, I got you. It's my cousin. That's my baby cousin. So it's all good. You linked in.
That's your baby cousin. Look at this now.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
You're just so well-rounded, and you have so much support in this industry. Oh my gosh, like
E40. I've worked with E40.
Who's E40? That's a rapper.
Yeah, E40.
Okay.
Your viewers will know who it is. E40. He's a well-known West Coast rapper.
Okay.
A lot of people. I mean, the list goes on. For me. But yeah, I think the journey is still going on because I got a new record out now. So I'm loving life.
What is the new record's called? Loving Life?
No, the new record is called Above the Law Presents The Resurrection of Gangster Rap by Code 187 Massa Musa.
What's behind that? So what made you want to create that? Come on.
Okay. You know how now the world is full of censorship, right? It's more censored than it was when we made records back then.
There's too much censorship.
So, plus the gangster rap era, I think is a part of the golden era of hip hop. Like that era that all the gangster rap music came out in, it's a part of the golden era. What I wanted to do is I wanted viewers, listeners now to experience gangster rap now.
Okay.
Like if this was 1995, this is what it would be like in 2022. A gangster rapper. When I created the resurrection of gangster rap, what I tried to do, I said, okay, look, how can I fit in? I've been here for these many years, 30 some odd years, doing music with everybody, right? How do I fit in the modern culture? I said, well, I mean, I'm already a part of it. I'm a part of the culture. So why don't I just do a gangster rap album? Like I've always done, but brand gangster rap because nobody was branding it. Back then they branded it. No one branded gangster. No one's branding gangster rap now to say like, look, I'm gonna come out, talk, speak, unapologetic, unadulterated, straight to the face. You get it. Put the explicit lyric on my thing. Hey, if your mama don't want you to listen to it, you sure ain't supposed to be listening to it. It's for grown people.
And if they don't know,
right? But it's just for grown people. So I wanted the youngsters to experience gangster rap.
Okay. So, did you work with Dougie Fresh or any of that?
I know Dougie Fresh. I've toured with him. I've never worked with him. Yeah. I know Dougie really good. Yeah. I've known him for years. Yeah.
He's just sitting back.
Yeah, Dougie is amazing, man. Hey, Dougie is amazing. That's a great guy.
So who would you like to work with that you haven't? Oh my God. Like
that's a laundry list. I mean,
doesn't matter. We're here to listen. You never know.
In a grocery list. I mean, it would be someone. The funny thing about it, like since I've worked with so many legendary people, it would be like someone different in a different genre. Like I would love to work with Erykah Badu. I would love to work with her. I would probably love to work with a lot of people out of there. I mean, just a lot of people. That's one of my dream gigs that I would want to work. Who I want to work with. Probably Erykah Badu.
Why you want to work with her? Because that's a different genre of music. She said.
Yeah, because I think that it's something that two different minds, like me with the G-Funk mind and her with the soul mind, would come together and it'd be explosive. Think about the two different production minds coming together. And
you'll be like in the back saying something, da 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 da, and she be
But
I got it. I know some things.
Yeah, so I think the two different contrasts will come together and make some hella new. That's what I think about because I've collabed with a lot of people that's kind of like straight up R&B or straight. Hers are the
like
little.
Who? We want to hear. We don't be telling me I collab. We want to know who.
No, I'm just saying. Like I've been in studios with pop guys, and I've been in the studios with different. And I not that I've worked with them, but I've been around them, and I have no desire not to take over, but I have no desire to even collaborate with them. Like you ask me a real question, I'm a real guy. I'm gonna tell you a real thing. So if the Beatles was alive, I'd love to collaborate with them. If they all were alive, I'd love to work with Paul McCartney.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome. Because the Beatles is my favorite group. So I'd love to work with them with Paul McCartney. But and I know that's a lot of extremes, but I've worked with the most legendary people in hip hop you can name, from Tupac to Snoop to Easy to Dr. Dre. I mean, come on. What I'm gonna say? Who I want to work with now?
Oh. So do you like doing the Afro beats, and would you be doing some like soca, calypso, and all these guys like Marshall and these guys that do stuff? Not really.
Well, yeah, I mean, me, I'm a music person, so I have no problem with doing any kind of genre of music. That's one thing about me that I think is the best thing for me as a producer. I don't really limit myself. If you ask me I work with anybody, when it comes to music, because I'm a musician.
You didn't work with Rihanna.
I'd love to work with Rihanna too, but now it's not like on my list.
It's not like,
list. Oh yeah, like, yeah. I like her. I love her. No, Rihanna's incredible, but it's like if she asked me to do a record with her, I'd do a record with her. I love it.
So Cold 187, like, what is something that people misconceive about you?
Probably that I'm only a hardcore rapper. Probably I'm only a hardcore rapper, and I'm a musician. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. That type of thing. I think that they only think that I'm only that. And I think they missed since I grew up kind of tough. I grew up kind of rough. I had a bump in the road where I went away to prison and all that. They just think that's all they look at in me. They don't say, oh, he's a brilliant songwriter, composer, producer, father, that kind of thing. Good friend.
So what do you want them to know about you?
They look at the tough persona. And they just take it for face value. You know what I mean? And my thing with making music is who I am, but I am all those other things too, D. You know what I mean? I am all those other things.
So you're a nice guy behind all this.
There you go.
Behind all the toughness.
Hey, if you know me, it depends on what day you meet me on, what alley you meet me in.
I don't want to meet you up in no alley.
I'm just playing with you.
I know. So, but now you have your life. You said you're married or I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So being caught up, did that change your perspective?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think now as I'm older, I value like the simple stuff. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time. I said I live an exciting, boring life now. Because when I'm home, I'm not doing nothing but kicking it with my girl, and my kids are grown, so they're off doing their thing. Oh,
they're big now, so
yeah, they got their own life. They got their own life. Exactly, they got their own life. So now,
except when the holidays come around, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about it, I have 3 girls and 1 boy, so they're all over the place. You know what I mean? And I have 3 grandkids, so it's all over. So
they keep you busy.
They keep me busy, It's this way, that way. We over here, Papa. Oh, yeah, So for me,
so are they listening to your music, or some things they can't really listen to because?
My kids have always been big fans of my music, always. Yeah.
Okay.
And I cuss a lot, so it's okay. I used to.
So they know. They expect that.
Yeah. They know. They know that,
But because some people I know they try to hide it up, oh no, you kept listening to that. But they can go to their friend's house and hear you.
Listen, I raised 3 daughters and a son. My daughters are the oldest ones, so I had to be the most realist with them than anything, because they was gonna get it the worst, basically. They're gonna get the scams, the schemes. It is. I showed them, hey, look, your daddy is a slick dude. So be careful of this, be careful of that, be careful of this, be careful of that. Not that I was slick with them, but I was just saying, hey, this is the persona of it, So for me, like what keeps me balanced in that type of thing is that when I'm on the road doing my thing, or when I'm in the studio, I have a workload, that's that. And then when I come home, I don't mind being a father, a grandfather, a mentor. I don't mind that. That's why I say I live an exciting, boring life. Because when the lights are off, I don't mind just being that.
Like I said, I don't mind being that.
No, I don't. When some people, they hide it. They want to, I don't mind being that. It's cool.
All right. So what's the most, you can say 3 things, most craziest things that happened to you while you were doing your music? Something.
3 things?
Yeah. Or if you have a few, well, I probably have a whole bunch.
One is I've done a record on the East Coast and the West Coast in the same day when you couldn't do it that way. Is what I'm saying is I did a record where I flew to Atlanta in 24 hours. I flew to Atlanta at 9 o'clock at night, cut the record, flew back to LA, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was doing another record in LA. That's one craziest thing ever happened.
And that's two different time zones. So you must
right. So, but it was within the 24 time period. That's why I say in one day I've done that.
One day.
Yeah, in one day. The second thing for is another workload. When I done the Tupac record, Until the End of Time, I ran a whole studio by myself mixing a record at 3 studios at one time. So I would go in one studio and mix one record while they brought another record into another studio, and then I go to studio to studio to studio to studio to studio and mix it. And
that must have been crazy.
Yeah.
Did you have a drink during that time?
Because I only had a week to mix 25 records. I had a week to mix 25 records. 1 week. Yeah, so I had to have all the studios running. Yeah, I had to have all the studios running at one time. So, okay. And thirdly, this is a tour one. So, because you need a tour one.
Well, you might get an extra one because you have to tell about because you're doing it too smooth.
Huh?
You might get one extra one.
No, I've had to actually talk somebody off of not killing their wife because they was in one of our rooms. Their wife was in one of our rooms. And we had to get him out of there and sneak his wife out, before she got killed. So by her husband. So
well, what was she doing up in there? I hope she
having a really good time, D. She was having a really good time.
It seemed like too much of a good time.
He was having a really good time.
Woo! Woo! So you don't have any stories with any groupies or people chasing it down?
That was the one. That was the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have one. I have one with a groupie, but I'm gonna come back and talk to you about that one.
No, now you're gonna have. Okay. We won't tell nobody nothing.
Right.
Okay.
I haven't told her about that. So.
Geez, well, you better not watch the episode.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
So what about do you think about you're going to be doing any acting, or have you done acting?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm producing, directing, and starring in my own TV show called The Black Godfather. It airs in next spring on my own network, MusaTV.net. So that's my first acting role, and I've ever did. It's my first.
So what are you? You're playing the Godfather?
Yeah, I played the lead role. It's the character's name Cornelius Blackwell.
Well, I guess if you do your own movie, you can start. You can select your own cast.
It's really good.
And who else are going to be in the movie?
It's a TV series, huh?
Oh, who else is going to be in the series?
Actually, it's a lot of upcoming actors and actresses out of Los Angeles. A lot of guys that I grew up with, I came up with in the industry or acting in. It's not nobody really known, and maybe we're gonna pick a few people that are gonna come in and guest in it, like cameos, a couple of rappers. But I don't want to give up the goods.
You want to give up the goods.
When I come back, I'm gonna give you everything when it's done, because then I'll know. Because since the pandemic happened, I had to stop production, so it's been not hard to get a lot of people to work. Back
you better get some of them snowy scenes up in LA, up in there.
Well, yeah,
because you guys all wear all those heavy clothes, the hats.
Yeah, we're starting back in mid-January shooting, so should be good. Mm-hmm.
So
we'll be ready.
So you must have said, "Boy, this girl's asking everything."
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool because people don't really ask me these questions, so it's cool.
That's why I'm here. But so you're doing your own movie. Mm-hmm. So after you finish that movie, what do you think you're gonna do?
I'm touring. We'll be touring next year. I will be touring next year. Okay. I'm trying to lock the tour in right now, and we don't know exactly when we're leaving, but we're gonna be touring in the spring. Me and Cocaine definitely gonna be touring in the spring. That's for sure. That's already locked in.
I like his little song though. He sing too.
Yeah, so that's what's on the burn. After the show drops, we'll be on tour. And that's basically, just being a mogul, doing my company, Mansa Musa Royal Lifestyle.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, hold on. You think you're scrolling past that quick? This is your own t-shirts?
Yeah, it's my own clothing brand, Mansa Musa Royal.
It looked nice though.
Yeah,
do you have different colors in those?
Yeah, hey, we have everything you need. Just go to Mansa Musa Royal.
I want a sweatshirt.
You want a what?
Look nice.
You want one of these?
Yeah, these are nice.
I got you.
What else? So you have your clothing too. So what other pieces of clothing do you have?
Well, I have, the Mansa Musa line is a unisex line. It's for women and men, and it's more of an upscale. It's more scaled up. But then I have a t-shirt and sweatshirt company. That's a nostalgia company that I do music through, called OGFashion.com. And then I also have a women's line coming out called Hutchie Bear Clothing. HutchieBearClothing.com.
So how come up with that name, Hutchie Bear?
It's all for women. Yep.
So how'd you come up with Hutchie Bear?
Oh, that's my girl's nickname to me. That she named the company. Yeah, she called me Hutchie Bear. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna ask why.
That's her fault.
Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. I'm her bear, so I'm her bear. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You're Hutchie Bear. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first.
You can't say that. She gonna be mad at you. You can't be saying that, D. You can't be saying that.
I can't. No, that's not. I called you cold.
Yeah, so I do have that for the women.
187. That's it.
Now you can call me Hutchie Bear if you're gonna buy the clothes. Now,
all
the ladies can call me Hutchie Bear if they can buy it.
Are these clothes affordable?
They're affordable.
Are these clothes affordable?
Everything's affordable. Don't worry about that.
Don't be telling me about that. You guys in LA.
You're rich, so you can buy it.
Mm-hmm.
No, everything's reasonable. I mean, it's online.
The Hutchie Bear clothing looks sexy, because I don't like wearing just sweats like this. Put on sweats.
No, we have a dress. We have a dress line. We have the nice stuff. It's all for women. Hutchie Bear stuff is all women. It's strictly for women. I don't make a man's item for women. I don't make for a women's line. So
and you make it for more of the fluffy women too.
Hey, all you got to do is call me and we got you.
Yeah, we got you all right. Because a lot of people be watching and say, well, we want some of those. Because up here, everybody likes different things. I don't like to wear the same thing everybody wears.
No doubt. And my stuff is online, so you're never going to see it. They're online. It's online, so you can pick and choose what you want. You're not going to see it in the store. It's not retail.
So they're real sizes then for real people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because sometimes these sizes say extra large and it's like a small.
I go all the way up to 4X though. D, I go all the way up to 4X. So
okay.
You can get everything up to 4. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes these guys say that something's an XL, and next thing you know, it's a small, and you're like, I didn't order that.
No, it's real to size. It's true to size. Anything I'm gonna do for us, because we curvy and thick, and we like to eat. Be true to size. It's gonna be true to size for us.
But everybody like to eat now too, because all races now, it seems like everybody's thick and stuff now. I don't know what happened.
I always think about that. We even when we ain't, we thick, we solid. So
people like to wear those things at home, the home, or if you just got to slide out to the store, slide in. Sometimes you're always looking for something. Well, me, because I have a lot of dress clothes, so I always go, oh my gosh, where's my dress down wear? Like when I wear, boom, I just want to put on something.
Well, for me, what I did reasonable, like what I did OG Fashion. I did OG Fashion as a line, like what you're talking about. OGFashion.com is a line like what you're talking about. It's sweatshirts, t-shirts, stuff you can just throw on,
But they look nice.
And the Mansa Musa stuff is more scaled up. You know what I mean? It's an expensive, more.
But it better because the name is royalty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I think people won't be expecting anything less.
There you go. So I have something for everybody basically in that world, because I wanted to, like when you ask me what I'll be doing, really mostly on my time, not music time. Okay. I like to dib and dabble in my fashion things because it keeps me creative musically. I like to do the
that
faster
keeps you
stuff.
creative musically. How?
Yeah, because what it is that when I create like designs and stuff, it makes me be more creative musically because it's another thing that can keep my creative juices in my mind going, you know.
Well, what about this Untold Stories? Tell us about that.
The Untold Stories. Which
Mhm.
one? Which one? What?
No, you have that
Me.
as on your YouTube. Isn't that a
Oh
song or record?
no. Untold Stories.
Maybe not.
Let's see what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not you.
Okay.
That's
Thank
not
you.
you. No. Hey, but you know your thing.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Someone
Hey.
else putting up trying. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to put up something. So you have
Okay.
you have a song called Your Name.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that
I
right?
have. Yeah. On the album, I do. I have a I don't have a song called My Name, but the single that's out right now is called OG. The video's out right now. It's called OG.
OG. Okay.
Yeah, OG. Yeah.
Everybody likes to be an OG. But
Yeah.
some of the
Well,
younger people, no, some of the younger people don't. They oh yeah, that person's an OG. You know, like
yeah, but I think
I
like I
think the
told you
younger
earlier.
people diss it.
Yeah, I think this, and I've never been. Look at me. You know what I'm saying? So can't diss me.
We
So
look pretty good though, all of
I
us.
took
You
care of
know,
myself. So you can say whatever you want to say.
you can say what you want. You
I'm
know,
in the
they don't
gym.
know. They're not in the music game.
But
They
I
like that.
think what's bad. I think what's bad with that part of what you're saying is that people have to be who they are. Like I
Yes.
can't be the age that I am, be in the industry as long as I have, and act like I'm just got in the industry. I have to do things from an OG perspective. Now, what you don't want to be as a young guy, and honestly, is miss out on the food and the nourishment that you get from an OG. Don't dis now. If a person is
Mm.
now if an older cat is on the corner and he's a drunk and he's saying he's an OG, that's different than a guy like me that's rich and saying I'm an OG.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You need to listen to me. It's different than a
But they're
guy
very
owns his
hard to
own.
some of the younger ones that are coming. They're very hard to take advice and stuff
Yeah,
like
but a
that
lot of
from.
those guys who giving them advice, they ain't worth nothing anyway. Just because a guy says he OG, he got to show me. He got to be an owner. That's why I own myself, D. That's why I own my company. I own all of my companies. You know what I'm saying? I do things that create platforms for people. You know, so when you look at me and talk to me as an OG, you can say, okay, I'm trying to get where you're trying to get to. I'm trying to get there, OG. You don't want to be like an old dude from your neighborhood or old dude from the town you came up in, and I'm an OG, and you ain't bringing nothing to the table.
And you're
So
not
of course
helping
nobody
nobody.
gonna take it.
You're not influencing people. So that's when you are somebody. Cold 187 is you are cultivated in your journey. So getting any type of advice from you is gold.
Important. Yeah, it's important. It's important because I am doing. See, that's what I don't like. Even my colleagues, even some of my colleagues or some of my friends, I'll be like, "Hey, man, in order to get younger people to listen to you, you got to be active out here. You can't just be talking about how it was back in the days, and you ain't benefiting from what went on back in the days. You got to actually be. Do you know what I tell them? I say, look,
I know you're
stop.
telling the truth because it's true.
I said, stop living off your legacy. I mean, stop living by your legacy and start living off your legacy.
And get out there
You
and
know what I
help the
mean?
people and get out there and
Yeah,
do
start
something.
living
Make a
off
difference.
your legacy. Live off your legacy. See, my legacy make me money. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not just bragging. It makes me, my legacy make me money. So that's me living off of my legacy. Everybody live. Hey, the old school, the guy I went to high school with was a high school superstar athlete. He's living by his legacy. He ain't been in the NFL.
Well,
He ain't
look
been
at
to
Shaq.
the other
Look at
team.
Shaq.
Yeah, he's living off of his legacy.
And
Yeah.
it's a big legacy he got there.
That's right. He has businesses. He's employing people off of his legacy. So you're right.
Making
So
a difference.
There you go. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to just be the OG guy that's saying, I'm OG, I'm just a tough old broke guy. Like, okay, they're not gonna listen to you. They're not.
Oh my God.
Just being real.
No, but that's the definition. You said it right. That's why I'm just like, wow. And some people are gonna go, huh? Is that what Cole's saying? Cold 107. Yeah, it's
that's
right.
fine.
You better get yourself together and stop listening to these fools that are on the street that ain't telling you nothing. They living in a one-room apartment or something.
Right.
See, you're related to him because it's
hey,
they haven't got no pool in the backyard.
I try to tell people. And
you're not, and it's not people. We're not here trying to snub people, but you know, you're telling it how it is because you got to know who you're getting advice from.
Right.
Someone smoking weed all day, or what? Or what? If you're smoking weed, fine. But what do you have? What are you showing for it?
When I was growing up, I always took advice from people who had. I didn't ever take advice from people who have not. I always took it because I knew I could grow. Like I took advice from people who could take me somewhere and be like, okay, this is what you actually can accomplish in life. I didn't. Okay, talking to somebody who don't have nothing. That's just like talking about the football game or the basketball game. What is that? That don't help me. That doesn't help me any. So what I in the thing that I'm glad to be on your show and talking about real life. Not just talking about real life matters. About real life, you know what I mean? Because that's what we in. We in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we are musicians,
not no joking thing or something that you make up. No.
Mm-hmm. Like when I look at youngsters and I be like, look, man, you know, I've been to prison, I bounce back. I've been on the streets, I bounce back. I've been on this, I bounce back. I work with these people, and I put my
you ain't bouncing back to prison either. So
I went to work.
Kids,
you know what I
mean?
I went to work.
Bouncing in and bouncing out.
Everything you see back there, I went to work for, sister. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I came in with my feet up. So I try to tell cats that you have to work, you have to grind, you got to get focused. You want to get to these levels and these levels, I'm gonna give you some food. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lead you astray. I'm not gonna tell you to go down there and do this because I've been down there for you. You know? Now if you want to still continue to go down there because you listen to fools, that's fine too. I had to bump my head too. So hey, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right. So what any shout outs you want to tell your people? Any out there?
Shout outs?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I want to shout out, my whole crew above the law. Shout out Cocaine. Shout out my whole family. Shout out the people out there in Toronto. And all the way around the world.
You better tell the people in Canada because people can get jealous now.
Canada. Hey, I forgot you all over the place, DBoss. I'm sorry. Canada in the world. What's up, y'all? And where y'all can follow me. Huh?
Big Nino is a part of you too.
Oh yeah, big Nino. Got to shout out Nino.
He would tell you off.
That's my brother. But he know I love him. That's my brother. Thanks for Nino for hooking us up and doing an awesome interview. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like I said, that's
where
my story.
People find you?
To it. Oh,
yes.
You can
where
find
can people find you?
Oh, Instagram. You can find me at Massa Musa Royal. You also can find me Massa Musa on Facebook, and then on Twitter you can find me at the Real Code 187
You got that, people? So we don't want to hear that you can't follow them or nothing. And please subscribe to the YouTube. Of course, your music's on. Is it on Spotify and all over?
It's on Spotify. It's on everything. You also, if y'all like, I've sold a lot of CDs in Canada too. If you guys want to order the CD, you can order the CD from ogfashion.com. Then that's ogfashin.com. You can get
I'm writing it down because I'm going on there.
That's what I'm talking about. So y'all got that. And also for DJs, I got wax. But all you DJs that spin, I got wax too.
Woo! All right. Well, called Man Musa, it's been great. Oh my gosh. You gotta come back. You gotta come back.
I'll be back. Thank you.
We gotta hear about that movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back and talk about the show.
And I'm
gonna come back with Cocaine too. I'm gonna come back with Cocaine.
Both of y'all. Both,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know y'all
we got a project coming out. Yeah,
all
we're touring. Yep.
Well, you just stick around.
Thanks for having me.
Don't sign off. Don't sign off yet. Just stick around for a minute. But anyway, I do want to thank the viewers today for watching. Go support Mamusa if you want some nice. Hey, Christmas, the holidays coming, next year coming. It doesn't matter. Go to ogfashions.com and go buy your stuff. It's for real curvy, fluffy, high-end women. Correct? All right, so everybody, Peace out. Bye for now.